Hello, everybody. This is Brian from Watchya on about, and what I'm on about today is one of my favorite watches for many reasons. This is the Seiko Flightmaster. This is the SNA 411. I do also kind of own an SNA 413, the blue one that they don't make anymore. It's a sordid tale we'll get to at the end, but yeah, I love this watch. Not only is it, I think, just undeniably kind of cool. I am a former pilot myself. I actually had my pilot's license before I had my driver's license, barely by like days. Don't have it anymore. Haven't for a long time. But my father is the one who taught me how to fly. He was a flight instructor, and this is the watch that he wore. He had several Seikos. He was a big Seiko guy. He is the main reason why I love Seiko so much and why you're seeing, in this, especially initially on this channel, a whole lot of Seiko content. I assure you I'll branch out a bit more as time goes on. I do own other stuff, but he just loved his Seikos. He had a procession of the manual or automatic chronographs, and then just he had another job. He couldn't wear his watch, so I think if I remember correctly, he got really tired of them not, having to wind them and set them and stuff. So he went to one of these courts, flight masters, the last many years of his life, and several years of his life anyway, and he loved it. Now, this is not his, unfortunately. He did pass away, and I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere, and we just couldn't find it. So I went out and bought another one just like it. Luckily, they're not horribly expensive. $250, around there if you shop around. Like I said, it's a quartz chrono. It's a really, really cool one. It is very, very flighty, as TGV would say from the Urban Gentry. And yes, it is a very busy dial. I mean, this dial is as busy as a Waffle House at 2:30 in the morning that's next door to a strip club. It's a very busy thing for sure, but it has a charm to it I just like. I like the yellow seconds hand for the chrono. It is 200-meter water resistance, which is fairly unique for a pilot's watch. Because honestly, if you're a pilot and you're wearing a pilot's watch for piloty things, and you find yourself needing 200-meter water resistance, things have gone horribly wrong for you. But I do like it has screw down pushers, screw down crown, and the top one here does start the chrono. We're going to let that run for a second because it's kind of fun here in a bit. The bottom one resets it, so you have to unscrew them to use the pushers, and then of course the crown is set its usual kind of 3-position crown. It is a bit of a thing to set this, I will say, but there are great resources online to show you how to do it. So you have an alarm function, which is cool, and it does make the most charming little noise that I would show you, except for I don't use this as an alarm. I use it as a second time zone. So you can also set it up as a second time zone. You can set it up as an alarm. It's just 12 hours at a time. But it does make a charming little, obviously fake little bell noise, but it's a great little noise. I really do like it. Now, it does come on a metal bracelet. I'm going to show it to you here. I don't use it. I tried to for a while because that's how my dad wore it. But I just always really loved the look of pilot's watches on leather. And this is a strap that you're going to see when I do my whole Seiko collection. I have on, honestly, it goes on lots of them. This is a 21 millimeter. That is one of the downsides to the Flightmaster. It does have a bit of a unique width here, but I don't think that's that big of a deal, especially if you're looking for leather or cloth. Super easy. It's not easy to find bracelets that are 21 millimeter, but leather, cloth, that kind of stuff, pretty easy to find a 21. This is a Barton. It's the weathered leather strap. I also have a 20 millimeter that I refer to as the mother of all straps because it goes on lots of stuff. I think I've already mentioned it once in a video, but I put it on lots and lots of watches. I just think it's a great looking strap, and I think it looks amazing on the Flightmaster. So it does. Obviously, the 21 millimeter one lives here, and I never change it. I do wear it a whole lot. Initially, when I first got it, it was kind of just an homage to my father, and I would just kind of wear it days that I was missing him. But I got to a point where I really, really enjoy wearing it. It's super cool. Do I know how to do any of this stuff? No, It's got a whole like miniaturized flight computer here. If you want to see what I'm talking about by a flight computer, I still actually have mine back from when I used to fly. And I used to know how to use this. And probably if I watched like a tutorial video, I would remember. But this is the ubiquitous Telex E6B computer. It does all kinds of, fuel calculations and range and, drifting for wind conditions, all that kind of stuff. It does a bunch of amazing things. And this does a good portion of that. And I do recall my father actually using it. He had better eyes than me, though. I don't, with my bifocals on, I can use it, but I'd probably have to like take my glasses off and really squint at it to kind of use it. The writing is pretty small, but I do not recall a thing about how to use this. To pass ground school, I know I used to know how to use this, but 46 years old, some knowledge just leaves your body and never comes back, and that's one of the things that hasn't come back. But I love the Flightmaster. Let's give some little specs and stuff here. It actually wears pretty well. It's a 42 millimeter case, but it's the usual Seiko magic. It does not wear that large, 13 millimeters in height, so it's definitely not thin, but it's not crazy. Runs on a Seiko caliber 7T62 movement, which seems to be pretty good. I'm gonna find out because I have to buy another one. That's what we're gonna get onto at the end with the 413. But yeah, it seems like a pretty good movement. I don't really hear many complaints about it. It's used on a couple other watches, I do believe, but I can't recall off the top of my head which ones they are. But yeah, you have your 3 sub-dials. Again, the one for the alarm or second time zone, whatever you want. And then the rest is on, all involve the chronograph functions, which the thing I like the most about this is its little party trick. I do use the chrono on this a lot because I'm the primary cook for the house. And I like using my little chronos for this. I have this and a, is it within reach to grab? It is. I often use this or my Seagull 63, for cooking stuff. I just like having a chrono to time things, but I love when you reset it, what it does. Look at this. The Seagull definitely doesn't do this. Am I unscrewed here? I just love watching the hand sweep around. I just think it's super cool. It'll go all the way back around. I just think that's neat. It's something that always just, makes me giggle a little bit. This is just a really fun watch. I really do like it. And ironically, one thing I'm going to say, let's loom this up. It's easier to read in the dark than it is in the light. Because it has, Seiko Lume. They always do a good job. And let me kill the lights here if I can find all the switches. Where's the other switch? That's not the right cable. My other switch is buried somewhere. We're going to go down to one light anyway. And we'll just do this. Here we go. Yeah. It's almost easier to read in the dark. You can't see all the other letters and stuff. So it's just way easier to read in the dark. And I think I've said before on the channel, I don't know, it's a new channel. I can't remember everything that I said. When I sleep at night, I have really bad eyesight. I don't have contacts or glasses in, obviously. So I can't see the clock. So a really good lume is very important to me because I wake up a lot in the night and I want to know what time it is. And this one stays loomed up all night long. It's visible all night long. It doesn't stay that bright the entire night, obviously, but it stays bright enough to read the whole night long. And again, yeah, it's easier to read at night than it is during the day. I just really love the Flightmaster a lot, partly because of my father. I'll admit that's why I bought this one. Just a nostalgia thing, but I got really into it. So much that I did buy, I'm going to show you it. Hopefully it'll be a working watch someday. This is the SNA 413 that they only did for a short amount of time with the blue and the white. It's beautiful. I got ripped off. It's not in the condition that it was represented to be. The pictures, I don't know, he took really good picture angles or something. The bezel's a lot more beat up than I expected. But the reason why I'm not using it at all is that happens. When you unscrew the crown, it's completely broken. So I got to get a new movement for it. It'll be my first time swapping a movement, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do all these hands. So that'll be fun. So if you're watching this and you're very eager to take on this project for me for a reasonable fee, please let me know. Or even better yet, if you have one of these that's actually in really good condition and isn't the $450 that they often are on eBay, yeah, let me know. I mean, I didn't pay a lot for this. That's the only upshot is if I get the parts and I fix it, yeah, it'll be relatively worth what it was. But I was told it was working and running, and yeah, that was not. He did not represent the bezel being that beat up. So anyway, and this crystal's scratched to crap too. But anywho, that's just me whining. But yeah, definitely check out a Flightmaster. It is a beloved watch for good reason. I think it is one that a lot of people are huge fans of. Some people just immediately look at that dial and say, "Yeah, it's too busy. I'd never want that." That's fair enough. It is the busiest dial, like I said, that I've ever seen on a watch, for absolutely sure. If you want to watch with most of this functionality, not the flight computer, but a very piloty kind of watch, the Citizen Nighthawk, a little bit bigger. I found that to be a bit too big on my tiny little wrist, but it's a lot less busy dial. It's still very busy, but it's not as bad as this. Let's actually show it on my wrist here. Again, this is my 6.5 to 6 3/4 wrists. And again, this is on the Barton leather strap. And that's, yeah, there we go. That's about where I usually wear it. Yeah. It's not too bad for a 42mm watch. That's usually kind of pushing it for me. This actually looks pretty darn good. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I really enjoyed just talking about this watch, talking about my dad, and yeah, thanks Dad for getting me into Seikos. Although it probably cost me a lot more money than you expected it to. But yeah, thanks Dad. I do love this watch. I'll see you next time.